Hi everybody, it's Lisa Marie here. Hi my sweet lifers. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, sweet day. We are hanging out again, working on this book, talking to all these people that have participated in this beautiful book called Journeys of Goodbye. Today I'm with Alethea, and we are co-authors on this project, and I am just so excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so we have a big event coming up with this book.
Oh, huge.
It's like in about a month. Almost a little bit less than a month now. It's November the 1st. You guys can see that in the episode notes and all over social media. At the House of
Fountain of Praise.
Fountain of Praise. And it's a pretty much a day-long event. We've got check-in, and then you can get, we have our panel, where you can ask us questions, and then you can go and get your book signed, and there's also going to be vendors there.
To get other education.
Yeah, a lot of information about life, planning, and I don't know if we've gotten funeral homes and
We're working on that.
There's still a lot of people we're still talking to, but there's a lot of really good, solid resources that everybody needs. You know, that's the thing. And that was one of the things I was going to mention to you. So as I read, obviously I've read the book. I went through and I reread before I interview each one of my fellow authors their story again, because you know it sort of blends in once you've read the whole book. You're like, who did this and who did that? And, you know, you said something in your chapter about the fact that whenever we think about being born, there's all this, you know, hullabaloo about being born. But then people don't prepare themselves whenever they're getting ready to transition to heaven. And, you know, I have said that so many times in so many years. It resonated with me because you and I are like, and then the whole thing about your chapter is when you find what you're supposed to be doing, and you find out that that's what you're supposed to be doing is actually helping people, and you're putting their hand, which she also wrote, putting their hand from your hand into the hand of the Lord.
Yes.
And, you know, so much about you is so much about, it's like me.
Yes.
And so we're bonded in that way because you're saying stuff that I've said. You're thinking the way that I think. And it's, I hope part of what we can give to people from the event and this book is a sense of peace and calm and ability to basically prepare. Because they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are afraid.
And they think it's so morbid.
Yeah.
But this is just only a pinch of what I could share with people. The amazing stories and experiences I have that were not morbid at all.
No.
Very beautiful. Touched my heart.
Yeah.
Made me cry.
Yeah.
As the hospice nurse. And they just don't know how beautiful death can be. And that sounds ironic, but it is a part of our lives.
That's the thing.
So why should that not be beautiful too?
Right.
When we're born, it's beautiful. And when we pass away or start transitioning, which I know a lot of people don't, some people don't use that word transition, but when you are getting ready to die, it still should be beautiful.
I think so.
That's right.
And I think that it's interesting. You get a different perspective because you're in that business of taking care of people as they're going. And you can see, obviously, through the experiences that you've had as a nurse, you know what the stages are and when to let people know to come in because you know when you have this much time. And it very much reminds me, which is interesting, which is the same concept of, you know, mom and daddy were both, dad was an OB-GYN, mom was an OB nurse. I've been in multiple labor and delivery rooms, photographing babies coming to the world, and the nurses know the timing of the contractions. They know when the next stage is going to happen. It's not like this big old surprise.
No.
There is, for people who are seasoned and trained in whatever event it is, they know what to look for, and when that happens, they know what's going to happen next. And as a nurse dealing with death and dying, you know.
I know.
You know, almost probably down to the last 5 minutes of how long they'll have before they're not here anymore. And it's interesting because there's a systematic way that the Lord works.
It really is.
It's really the way I see it. I mean, having finished seminary, it's like God has planned things a certain way, and our bodies work in a certain way. And for those that study it, know it, see it, live it, or in it, it's easier for you to see. But for people that don't know, I understand it's a shock.
Yes.
I think that the shocking thing to me is that they don't realize or think about that we're all going to go. Like it's almost like they hold back and they're living in some fantasy world that, you know, mama's never going to die. I'm never going to have a life without my mom. And I'm like, how does that even work? Like, of course you are.
Of course.
She's got to go. She's before you are.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, you know, I see it, especially with children, all the work with kids with cancer over the years that I've done in the community. You know, it's a reversal of what we think should happen.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, for those of us that have faith, everything happens according to the will of the Lord.
Of the Lord.
And
period.
we are given the peace from the Holy Spirit when things happen that are in reverse.
Yes.
But for you to see every day what you do and what you see and all the families, you know, also was touched by the whole sibling rivalry, you know, and how much that has got to play a role because people are all dealing with their own levels of disbelief.
Yes.
They're all dealing at a different level of disbelief of grief. Some of them get it, some of them don't. Some of them don't want to. They want to deny it. Some of them are like, it's already happened. They pretty much wipe their hands of it, and they act like the person's already dead before the person's even died.
Exactly.
So everybody's got a different emotional reaction to death and dying, and I'm sure you see that like all the time.
All the time. I've learned so much, and I was telling someone the other day. I said it is so huge. When I went into nursing, I never expected. I was just thinking about what I could do for people. I wanted to help people. I wanted to save people. I wanted to, you know, be compassionate, you know, show them love. But never expected that in nursing, I would learn something about myself and make changes in my life, right? So I learned so much of, I don't want this to happen with my children when I'm getting older and getting sicker and elderly. I don't want them to fight over this, and I don't want them to have to go through this. So it made me face it and be able to think about, what do I want that to look like?
Right.
And I was in so many situations. I was telling my friend on the way here, I said, I have been in so many fights that I had to referee around end of life and hospice care and the loved one dying. I said, I didn't want that for my children.
Yeah.
I didn't want them to fight. I wanted them to embrace each other, be able to love each other, and not worry about a thing. And so one night, one of my experiences, I was on call and I went out to pronounce someone. So they taught, my patients and families have taught me so much. Went out to pronounce someone, and I think the woman had 2 sons or whatever. And I'm sitting there in the living room after I did what I needed to do, and her sons were talking, and I heard them say, "Oh, she has a book. You know, she has this book. You know where it is?" And the other one said, "Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna go find it." He came out with this beautiful book that had everything planned out. The song she wanted at her funeral, who she wanted to speak, and what scripture. I was like, "What is that?" I said, "I need to get that." So my sons don't have to think about anything.
Yeah.
And so that's the piece that I say is not morbid. Look at that. She's still caring for them and taking care of them and loving them even when she's gone. And what could be better?
Well, there isn't anything better. One of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel.
Yes.
Because I watched an interview with Lenny Kravitz, and he was talking to somebody, I don't know if it was 60 Minutes or CBS Sunday Morning, both of which I watch religiously. But he had said in that interview that his mother has never died. Because whenever he wants to hear her or see her, he can go back and watch her on TV shows.
Wow.
And he's got that gift. And I remembered hearing that. And I remember the fact that when Mother was killed, you know, I was 8. And they didn't have all this stuff.
No.
This wasn't even a thing.
Wasn't a thing.
They didn't have phones with cameras on them or video, let alone video or any of that. And I thought, what a neat thing to do for the family. Not necessarily for my viewers and my followers, but what a neat thing to do for the family, so that whenever because I know I'm not going to be here, hello, I'm like, 4 generations from now, somebody wants to learn how to make their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandmother's buttermilk fudge pie. Well, there's me in the kitchen showing you how to make Nana's fudge pie.
It's awesome.
Or how to pinch a tomato plant, or how to get rid of a horn worm on a tomato plant, or whatever. Right? And to be on call for the family with whatever, which is the other thing with the seminary. Like, go to seminary, learn the Bible, learn deeply, not just what I learned going to church every week. And I was raised Southern Baptist and ended up at Episcopal private girls' school and raised the babies Episcopalian, and I am Episcopalian, but I still got a lot of Baptist roots just dug deep, right?
Yes.
But even being in church my whole life, I did not know all the things in the Bible because you get snippets on Sundays. You don't get like a deep, what I call, we get salsa and chips at church. I want to do on the channel. I want to, I want to do like a full course meal of the whole Bible, so that whenever I'm gone and my family wants to learn, they have me teaching it.
That's right. What's better?
And so the planning book is an important part for everybody. And I'm hoping that at our event, there's somebody there that has a planning book for people to pick up, or to at least start the conversation. Because honestly, what I think needs to happen with everybody, and this is an important thing, you need to give your diamonds away before you're dead. You need to give your books, that your favorite things, before you're dead. You need to give away all these things that you had before, that you loved, that people know you loved and remember you with, whether it be a pillow or a ring or whatever. Give it to the people that you want to have it. Don't wait till you're gone, because when you're gone, things happen. People come in and they take stuff that they're not supposed to get, and people fight over stuff that they wanted, that they, and then people don't want to have the conversation with mom. I remember when Brian's mother was going through the whole, I want to use the word transition, not really though. I mean, she was fine 1 minute and then really just didn't do well from breaking a hip. And then it just sort of turned into a big mess, and then she was gone.
Yes.
But the time that you need to spend some time with people having a conversation. And nobody wanted to do it. Nobody wants to sit down with mom and say, okay, mom, what do you want me to have?
Yes.
Like, here's your box of jewelry. What is the piece of jewelry that you would like for me to have? What do you want me to give to your great-great-granddaughters? Because they'll probably be born. We don't know.
Nothing is wrong with that.
No, it's not morbid.
That's what has happened in our society, is that we feel like death is something that you can't talk about like a regular conversation, and it's not. Because if you don't, now this is another, I don't think I said it in the book, but this is something that I always used to say to my patients and families. We don't have much control over how we come into the world, but we have somewhat of a control on how we
write that in there. Yeah.
Because we can't call the day and the time, but we can prepare and have things in place so that it's a much smoother situation. And that's what we need to work on. And
not only that, funny, and I think I mentioned this in one of the interviews. I'm pretty sure I did. For those of you guys that follow everything I do, you'll go, I remember that. Brian's father passed away, and he passed away like, he knew he was dying. He had leukemia. My dad saw the blood work before, and we grew up, and y'all do too, small town North Carolina. So Daddy, even though he was an OB-GYN, he actually would, like, people in the family, if they had some blood work or something done, he'd look at it. So before my daddy died, he said to Brian's daddy, I don't like what's on that blood work. I want you to go get it checked further. And then my daddy dropped dead of a pulmonary on his birthday, and Brian's daddy never got it checked. Well, he had leukemia, but he didn't tell anybody. So he's over here behind the scenes, seeing doctors, not saying anything to anybody. The kids don't have a clue. We don't have a clue.
Wow.
And so then when we get the call, like we're here shooting pictures because it's like October. It's basically like right now, time frame. And he was like at the doctor's office, and then Brian's brother called and said, hey, they're not doing any more to him. They're sending him home with hospice. As soon as I heard the word hospice, I was like, what? How are we going from visiting back and forth to Texas to see the grandchildren to you're going home with hospice? Like, what is the deal with that? Like, what is the deal with that?
How did
it's
that happen?
Like not even, it's like
not real.
Yeah, well, it's just not, it's like, it was, I guess he planned it, but we didn't plan it. We didn't know about it. But to have the conversation, I was able to have a conversation with him. With Brian's mother, it was like 1 minute she was there, and then she fell and broke her hip, and then she died before we could even get this side of Atlanta back to North Carolina.
Yes.
But they had not had the conversation about Daddy's funeral. And Daddy had not, he had asked me a long time ago to write something. Because, of course, I'd had to call him forever. So he designated me as the writer for the family, which is perfectly fine. But he had never said, you need to write my whatever we're going to say at the funeral. And so, and we hadn't gone through all that yet. You know, we had just not done it. We just hadn't sat. He didn't say to me, hey, I'm dying. I guess he didn't want me to know, because if I knew, I'd tell everybody, because that's how I am. But, you know, like, we didn't know. So I leave to come back to Houston, and Brian's there, and then Brian comes back, and then Brian goes back to the funeral. And nobody had a clue what to say. Nobody had a clue what to say. Like, they'd been in the Methodist church their whole lives, and nobody had the scriptures that he would like to have read, or the hymns that he liked that were his favorite. But the funniest part, you're going to think this is hysterical. The funniest part was, they're all sitting there, and somebody's reading this thing, and it says that he was there when the Great Wall of China fell. And we're like, yeah, no, he wasn't there. Who came up with that? This is like just random out of the sky stuff that somebody, he went to China, but he didn't go there during that time. I mean, it's just kind of like random. So I knew that Daddy was probably just rolling on the floor laughing, because it's just like, okay, what? So if for no other reason, like, I think everybody, if they're not particular about their lives, I don't guess it matters. But for me, and for you, and for most people that I know, I want the right hymn sung. I want the right scriptures read. I want certain people
participating or speaking.
Fine. If you don't, fine. Yes. But I don't want anybody like losing their minds and crying over me, because I've gotten my renewed body and I'm bouncing around in heaven with my Lord. Yes. I mean, this is not a bad day. This is a happy day.
Let's celebrate.
So let's not be concerned about, but that's what I think people get. It's not, I think, I know. We get so caught up in grief. That we can't see the forest for the trees.
Correct.
And then maybe people never do see the forest for the trees, but especially when it's with children or certain situations that people just have a hard time. You never are over
those situations we don't expect to happen. Yes.
But you know what I mean? Like, if you've got a parent that's lived, like Nana lived to 102.
Yes.
So, like, for the love of the Lord, I mean, we knew Nana was done. She'd been done for a long time. But whenever I went in there, kissed that body, and she was cold and she was gone, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Because 102.
Dancing.
Yeah.
Yes. I've had those families.
Had the right scriptures.
Wanted them to rehab and walk again and, 99.
No.
Like, what? How are you doing that?
He wouldn't pump up a cat.
Leave him alone. Yeah. So I'm an advocate, because really, if it wasn't for us, the children of certain family loved ones would be doing all sorts of things to them. I swear I've seen so much, making them eat foods that they really shouldn't be eating at that time, or maybe they didn't even like it back then. Why do you want? So from my experience,
tries to feed me a banana, because I've hated bananas my whole life. If somebody tries to feed me a banana, expect it to be blown all over your face, because I do not like bananas.
That was one of the things I said. I said, well, I think that I need to sit here and take my whole advanced directive, what I want, what I don't want. I said, because I love bananas, but I don't like soft ones. And please don't try to don't smash it up and make me try to. So it's that serious. Like, because you don't ever know if you're going to lose your faculties. Like, you don't know that you'll be in your right mind.
Right.
You may be living a long time and don't have a great cognitive status. So what you can't speak for yourself and say, stop that. I don't want that. But they're going to do it to you. So that's why it's so important. That's why it's so important what we're trying to bring. So we're going to cover so much information. So we'll have contact information so you can reach out to us, because it's so many pieces to this that you have probably never, ever considered.
No.
Never, ever considered.
No. And I think what you just said makes sense to me, too. I think I need the next book. I've been working on several things. Mm-hmm. They all know. And then I've been babysitting this brand new little baby, which Isla May's been keeping me busy for the last year. But I think that what I need to do, if not for not a published book, but I think I need to put together a way for people to put down what you need to put down, so people know what to do.
Know what to do.
It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be a 500 document, situation.
Or tape it.
Tape it.
Tape it. That's the world we're in now.
Yeah. And make it a whole lot easier.
So a whole lot easier.
But, And
they're hearing you say it. It won't be any question You might question paper and pen.
Yeah.
But today, now, no, she's sitting there on the video, and this is what she said.
This is what she said.
Yes.
And if you don't like it, rewind it and watch it again.
There you go. And deal with it.
Deal with it. Yes, deal with it. Oh, that's a good spot for us to end on. Listen, I hope that you found some nuggets in our conversation. I am sure you did. And I have a feeling after today, we're going to be on this couch another time or two or three, taking some more videos, because we have really bonded over this book and our friendship and everything. So I'm so excited about the fact that you were here today.
Looking forward to that.
And I want you guys to do me a favor. If you found value in this, please do us a favor, like and share. Don't forget to ring that bell. And that way you're notified every time that we do anything on the channel. And we'll see you soon on another Sweet Life. Take care. Stay sweet.
Bye.